It has never been harder to win than right now. Why? Because every single day, you are frying your brain. You are killing your attention span, and you are killing your focus. You're killing your testosterone, and because of all of that, you are killing your success. The average person has a worse attention span than a goldfish, and that's who you're competing against. So on the good news, that means that just with the tiniest bit of discipline and work ethic, you are already ahead of 90% of people. And before we even begin, you need to understand that your ability to control your urges is directly correlated to your success or lack thereof. If you cannot control yourself, if you cannot be disciplined, you will never be successful. It is simply impossible. And that is why it's so important for you to master your urges. And all of that starts with desexualizing your brain so that you are no longer ruled by your primate brain. So today, I'm going to give you the only 6 steps you need to desexualize your brain and regain control of your life, because it's having that very control over your mind, your body, and your life that will ultimately lead you to success. Now, here's the interesting part. Truly desexualizing your brain has very little to do with sex and has everything to do with something else. But I will get to that a little later in the video. So, for now, let's get into it. The first step is to stop watching porn. First and foremost, you need to stop watching porn. Now, listen, this may sound obvious, yet 99% of young people simply cannot stop. I would say that watching porn is by far the worst way, which you sexualize your brain. And let me explain to you why. You see, the problem isn't just the amount of time that you spend watching porn. I mean, sure, if you stopped, you'd have an extra hour per week or something like that. But that's just a very minuscule side effect compared to the rest. You see, porn fries your brain and robs you of focus. Don't believe me? Just look at the science. There have been multiple studies that link porn usage to the erosion of your prefrontal cortex. You know, that part of your brain that regulates your emotions, your actions, and more importantly, your impulse control and willpower. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a laundry list of negative side effects that have been linked to porn use. Why? Because porn use has similar effects on the brain as substance abuse. Porn has been linked to issues like decreased focus and increased anxiety and depression. Now, as if these problems weren't big enough, porn has also been linked to trouble in long-term relationships and, of course, impotency. There is an epidemic of young men who are experiencing sexual issues like erectile dysfunction because their brains have been rewired. It's unfortunate because these young men have consumed so much porn that their neural pathways have changed. I mean, they've effectively trained themselves to be aroused by watching others do the deed instead of doing it themselves. And porn users even reported that they are less satisfied with their lives than their counterparts who don't watch porn. Now, the second step in desexualizing your brain goes hand in hand with quitting porn, and that is you need to stop pleasuring yourself. Look, I understand it's addictive, and I understand that it's been normalized in today's day and age, but there is nothing healthy or normal about it. And not even because the very act is so terrible as it is with porn, it's just because of the consequences of it. You see, every time you do it, your dopamine surges. I mean, you're pretty much signaling to your brain that you have accomplished what is supposed to be man's highest goal, to procreate. You are essentially telling your brain that you've done the most important thing you'll do all day. Now, of course, you and I both know that that's not true, but the neurons firing in your brain do not. And that is why you are rewarded for it. That is why it's cheap dopamine, because you are tricking your own brain into giving you dopamine you have not earned. And that's why your ability to focus and your ability to do hard things plummets. How do you think that the real world will stack up to the dopamine and other chemical releases that you're getting from doing the very thing we have been evolutionarily designed to do? Well, the answer is, it won't stack up at all. I mean, no wonder you can't focus when your dopamine receptors are so fried. This is why you can't focus. I mean, listen, of course, everything else will feel boring when you've just done the dirty business. And this is why you need to stop. So you ask yourself, why do so many young men keep doing it? Because they are addicted. They are addicted to cheap dopamine in the same way that people get addicted to drugs. I mean, porn and masturbation are the most difficult addictions to break. Why? Because of the insane dopamine spike that is caused by it. So, real quick, let's just look at the data. If you eat a delicious burger or some other carb-filled meal, your dopamine levels will spike by 100%. Now, If you smoke or get some other form of nicotine, your dopamine will spike by 200%, whereas porn and masturbation boost your dopamine by over 250%, the same as sex. Now, here's the key difference. Porn and masturbation will then make your dopamine levels fall way below baseline. And that's where those lethargic feelings come from. After that's the same dopamine curve you get from drugs. So then that starts to beg the question, how the hell do you stop? And here's where it gets interesting. You see, an addiction to porn and masturbation isn't rooted in anything sexual at all. And that leads us to the third step of how you can desexualize your brain. Number 3, purpose. Now, they did a study where they tried to figure out what causes these addictions. And the answer may surprise you. You see, it wasn't any form of perversion. It wasn't childhood trauma. It was an extraordinary libido. Instead, it was something far simpler, far more rudimentary. It was meaninglessness. Simply put, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have something that you are striving towards, then you are more likely to devolve into these addictions. Now, the good news is that it's fixable. Every man should have that purpose, that North Star that drives him forward. You simply need something better to do with your time than give in to your urges. What that something is will depend on the person. Now, from an early age, we are taught that we need a good college education and a corporate job, as though that's somehow going to fulfill us. But we both know that that's not true, is it? That's not true at all. And from October 30th to November 6th, I'm going to expose how and why you have been indoctrinated to believe this. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to escape their indoctrination and earn back your freedom. So if you want to be a part of that free online event, then sign up with the link below. Anyways, we all need something to guide us. For some, it'll be starting a business. For others, it might be something entirely different. I can tell you that for me, my North Star was to be able to take care of my mom and my loved ones. And that is why I went into business, because I had that North Star to guide me. And honestly, without that North Star, I can confidently say that I would have given up because the money wasn't enough to keep me going. You need that North Star. You need that. Why that purpose? But even then, once you have your purpose, you may still slip up. Why? Because there are triggers out there that cause you to do so. And this leads to our fourth step in desexualizing your brain. Step number 4, stop watching soft porn. You see, soft porn can be just as bad as porn because it's everywhere. Everywhere you look, there are half-naked girls. I mean, you scroll endlessly through TikTok and Instagram, and the algorithm is reinforced by your desire to look at these girls. And that is why I need you to unfollow all of the Instagram models. Unfollow all the TikTok girls that do their little dances, because they are eating away at your focus. They are destroying your future. And it may seem minuscule to you, but it's not. You see, most of the time, you don't just randomly decide to watch porn. There is a trigger. And that's why the best way to quit porn is by eliminating the triggers that make you watch it. And that means you need to also stop watching soft porn. And every time the algorithm shows you half-naked girls, simply click, not interested. Train the algorithm to not show you those things, and listen. Of course, the best case scenario is you just quit TikTok and Instagram altogether. Because, at the end of the day, you have no business looking at memes or whatever else if you are not where you want to be in life. And if these social media platforms don't directly help your business. But in any case, the next step you need to take to desexualize your brain is to focus inward and not outward. You see, the biggest problem with the sexualization of your brain stems from the changes that are happening in your dopamine system. The sexualization of your brain impairs your ability to do hard work because your brain becomes so used to cheap dopamine. And there you have it. Desexualizing your brain really can be a game changer for achieving success. By focusing your mental energy on your goals and passions, rather than letting distractions or societal pressures derail you, you give yourself the best chance to thrive in your personal and professional life. Remember, it's not about denying or suppressing your natural desires, but rather about channeling your energy in a way that aligns with your long-term objectives. It's about creating a mindset that supports your ambitions and helps you stay laser-focused on what truly matters. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on unlocking your full potential. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How has desexualizing your brain impacted your journey to success? I'd love to hear your experiences. Thanks for watching, and remember, your mind is your most powerful tool. Use it wisely, and success will follow. See you in the next video.